to go outside. Now I'm so used to gunshots that I sleep through them at night. I'm falling to pieces. We're fighting for life's about such a wonderful world. The violence is all around such a wonderful world. Don't believe in everything. You hear it all the time. Innocent people die. Whatever happened to us, no value for human life. I'm falling to pieces here. We're fighting for life's about such a wonderful world. The violence is all around such a wonderful world. Don't believe in everything you hear. Don't believe in everything you Don't believe in everything. We're fighting for life's about such a wonderful world. The violence is all around such a wonderful world. Don't believe in everything you hear. We are the ones who don't know what we're fighting for. Give us a gun and send us all off to war. We are the ones who grow up in violent homes. We are the ones who don't know what's right or wrong. I know. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more. No more. We are the ones who don't know why we're losing score. Give them a badge so they could send us to the morgue. We are the ones who are scared to walk outside. We are the ones who don't know what we're dying for. I know. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones. We are the
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest episode of I'm No Joe, your home for all things combat sports and the place where every armchair quarterback can feel like Eddie Bravo. The views and opinions presented on the I'm No Joe channel belong solely to the person expressing them, no one else. If we say it, that means we meant it. That being said, this show does contain adult themes, adult content, and general shit that you shouldn't be letting your kids intake. Be advised, viewer discretion is recommended. Proceed at your own risk. You've been warned. If it's Thursday, it's gonna be May. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of appropriate ages, to the latest episode of the I'm No Joe podcast, the show where every armchair quarterback can feel like Eddie Bravo. Today, like not many days, we have got an interesting lineup for you this evening. We are running a little bit late. Life has been crazy as can be expected these days, but we are going to try and kick out some of that craziness and get down to the punchy, kicky goodness for you folks. Kicking it off first and foremost here, I have got my brother from another mother across the octagon from me, as it were, Golf T Vapes, the one and only. How you doing this evening, sir?
Doing ready to talk a whole bunch of shit today. Not necessarily about the fight. Fucking riled up again already. Son of a bitch. I was calm all day.
Sometimes it do be like that. It do. Okay, so first and foremost here, this weekend was a little bit crazy, so I was not able to hop on and do a What Did I Say show, so I do want to crunch down just a little nice tasty morsel of recap for last weekend's shenanigans that went down. As we know, it was a pre-pay-per-view weekend, so it wasn't anything too terribly exciting, but we did have some interesting moments here. Over on the UFC side of things, Gina Mazzani sucks. I don't give a fuck if they got that fucking stoppage by Shanna Young. Gina Mazzani sucks. She's fucking weighing Tim Elliott down and taking up empty fucking space that could be occupied by a valid fighter in James Krause's gym, and I fucking resent her for it. I'm not going to bite my tongue. That being said, Nathan Levy came out as disappointing as a fucking highly touted prospect could be. I get that he got the unanimous decision, but that was one of the most boring fucking super hyped debuts I've ever fucking seen in recent memory, at least. On the other hand, Gifted Gabriel Green, holy fucking shit, did that man put the White Lion to fucking sleep. Shocked me. I didn't fucking see that coming, but damned if he didn't do fucking work. One of my most exciting nights of the fucking moment, and we told you guys about it last weekend to keep your eye out. Biggie Figgy Smalls, baby. Biggie Figgy Smalls came in and did fucking work. Not just work, but literal performance and our performance of the night bonus worthy work. Beautiful fucking submission in just over a minute's fucking time, keeping that Figueiredo name strong in the fucking UFC and making me scream at my television in a very emphatic manner, scaring the shit out of my dogs, but that's another story. Chase fucking Sherman. God damn it, man. God damn it, man. I could not fucking punch my fucking TV hard enough watching him just not show up and completely fucking waste what we made a very big point of emphasizing was his third stint in the fucking UFC, literally starting off the same way he ended his last two stints in the UFC with a fucking horrible loss. And I think my biggest problem isn't that Chase fucking lost. It's that he never showed up and Romanov looked like absolute shit. But because he was able to do what they wanted him to fucking do, he threw that Americana on and looked like a fucking stud. So they're going to fucking shoot him up and they're going to fucking keep Chase down as a goddamn gatekeeper at fucking 15, most likely, if they don't keep him just off the fucking 15 spot and make him the fucking benchmark. But that was just goddamn infuriating as all fucking get out to me.
In this case, he just needs to be the entry point for all the soup cans, because that's what he's doing.
like at this point, I'm almost willing to just demote him to a soup can series guy. Like keep him fighting on the soup can series. When you want to bring a heavyweight in through the fucking Tuesday night soup can series, you make him fight Chase Sherman on the Tuesday night soup can series.
Yeah.
Until you can prove to me that you deserve more than that, I can't in good fucking conscience root for you anymore, man. Like I have been such a fucking vocal Vanilla Gorilla fucking proponent since his first fucking stint in the UFC, and was using him literally as an example of the fact that you can get brought back, and then he fucked it right out of the gate. So until he does something legitimately noteworthy, I would condemn him to the land of fucking Tuesday Night Contender Series. That being said, flipping into that main card, holy shit. Christoph Jocko came out and just decided that he was going to fucking do work. Not that he's not capable of that, but to the level that he performed last weekend, that's not generally the Christoph Jocko that we see, especially not against the likes of a fucking GM3 Gerald Meerschaert, who he essentially shut down and outworked all the fucking way through the fight. I was legitimately fucking impressed because he was negating the absolute fuck out of a whole bunch of kitchen sink maneuvers that Meerschaert started throwing at him, and looked fairly comfortable in doing so. I can't really give him a whole lot of shit for that. I did not think that was the performance he was going to give us, but damned if he didn't fucking come out there and do it. So, Meerschaert obviously was a little unfocused, I would have to guess. But Jocko absolutely gets to take the step up from here. Good fucking win. Now, there's a saying in the UFC and the UFC fan circles: you don't call a man damage for no reason. We said it before, and I will say it until he fucking retires. Darren Damage Elkins is one of my favorite fucking fighters on this planet. I don't care if he's fighting a literal phone booth. I will fucking tune in and watch it. That man is damage for a fucking reason. I don't care what your game plan is. When you get in there with that man, he's going to fucking hurt you, and you can throw everything you want at him, and it might wobble him a little bit, but it's not going to fucking stop him. He's one of those dudes. You have to fucking kill him or put him to absolute fucking sleep in a submission in order to beat him, because he will not stop marching forward and throwing bombs at you the whole fucking time. And props to Tristan Connolly for fucking weathering some serious storm and throwing some absolute fucking haymakers down, thinking that he had Darren, when in reality, he was really just playing Darren's fucking game.
Yeah, the Damage is fucking. He was spot on there, and that was the Darren Elkins that everybody who is anything other than a casual really fucking loves about him. Most people are casual, probably don't know who the fuck he is, but those of us who do watch regularly or semi-serious about watching it know that name and what he's capable of and why they call him Damage. There's a reason why he's got that shit tattooed across his fucking body. I'm just saying, the fucking shoe fits, man. And man, did it ever that on fucking last Saturday. Shit.
Yeah, Cutman was definitely earning their fucking paycheck. That's for damn sure.
Fantastic fucking fight, too. Like, to be honest, the fight as a whole was really fucking good. Conley, fucking chin of fucking steel there, man.
Yeah, he wore it for damn sure and walked through it. Fucking absolute props, man. So, hopping on from there, I was openly cheering for him from the get-go. Did not think that was how it was fun. Yeah, words. Did not think that is how it was going to go down Saturday night for Grant Dawson, but I will absolutely fucking take it. He absolutely beat the fuck out of Jared Gordon, literally bloodied the fuck out of him, and then put that fucking choke in and sent his ass off just absolutely fucking beautifully. And one of the things that I had been saying for quite a while was perfectly fucking displayed in this fight, and that Jared's corner was screaming their fucking head off at him. Don't do this. Look out for that. Do this to get out of that. He didn't listen to a fucking word they said. And it got him exactly where he ended up. Somehow.
You know, every time he gets into the octagon, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I just can't anymore. I can't do it. After that, it was another case of what the fuck was that fighter's name? Matt Hamill. Deaf. Right? Matt Hamill listened to his corner better than Flash Gordon did.
Yeah.
Which is fucking absolutely insane. Like, they were literally walking him through how to dismantle Dawson. Because Dawson didn't look that great.
No,
Gordon just
spectacular.
looked that fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And failed to follow directions. If I was his corner, I would be giving him the old fucking boot out to the curb. Go find somebody else who you'll fucking listen to. Because I mean, how many fighters do we run across where they have the ability, but they fail to listen to their corner and it fucks them in the long run? And there's a lot of those corners out there that you can hear screaming at the top of their fucking lungs, trying to get them to do what they're supposed to. And they're like, nope, rock'em sock'em robots and think that shit's going to work. No.
Look
I'm
where
glad he got his fucking ass whipped. And to be honest, I really hope moving forward, he's nothing more than a gatekeeper down at the bottom for fucking the trash coming in.
Yeah.
Or hopefully the legit.
Definitely not earning anything above that, in my opinion, as well. I agree.
Yeah. He's going to really have to pull his head out of his ass to pull that one off, because God knows he can't hear shit. Maybe he needs to, maybe it is a hearing issue. Maybe he needs to go and see a fucking audiologist and have him check his fucking ears. And, you know, if that's the case, please let us know. Because if it's the case that you truly can't hear, I don't want to be saying this shit and making fun of a deaf guy.
Right. Yeah. If that's the case, by all means, we'll gladly retract the shit talking. But until then.
Well, the shit talking is not going to stop. But the
in that specific aspect of it.
Yeah, that specific aspect of it. Yeah. And so that's the only spot that's going to stop. There might even be a slight apology. Sorry for telling you you're an idiot for not listening when you couldn't actually hear. But, you know.
But moving on from there, holy shit, Joe Anderson Brito literally did not even need a minute. Speaking of not listening to your fucking corner when they're trying to tell you how to avoid what is clearly going to be a very bad situation for you, Feely rushed in, got fucking sloppy, and Joe Anderson Brito was like, oh cool, watch this, good night. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, man. We say it all the fucking time. I don't know how much longer we're going to see Feely under the UFC banner, realistically.
You know, I called that shit last week. Now, if you go and look, I did pick Feely because I thought he was smart enough to beat Brito, but I said it last week about Feely. There's always been something I don't like about the guy. He just doesn't seem to fit the bill as a solid featherweight fighter. Maybe if he went, yeah, he's just like, his fucking fight IQ is absolutely fucking horrible. And apparently he has the same problem that fucking Gordon does. Don't listen to your corner, get touched the fuck up. Except for in this case, it only took 41 seconds, whereas Gordon got his ass whooped for almost 15 fucking minutes. To be honest, I'm glad it took him only 41 seconds. Good on Brito. I hope he gets a really good fucking next fight out of that, because that was phenomenal. And for lack of better terms, fuck Andre Feely.
Right. Well, and that ass whooping was also
near the middle of it.
That was the other performance of the night bonus. So that ass whooping was good enough that they cut him a bonus check for it. I have a feeling that Brito might get himself a nice fight coming off of that one. So it'll be interesting to watch him going forward as well.
I hope so. It was a beautiful fucking knockout.
It was a smooth fucking shot too. But on the opposite side of that fucking notion, and a not so fucking smooth moment that we also fucking unfortunately warned was a good possibility of, Arlovsky once again fucking somehow squeaks out the most infuriating of split decision wins against a very unmotivated Jake Collier, who, much like Chase Sherman, just didn't seem to take this very seriously at all when he showed up, least of all against somebody as coast-worthy as Andrei Arlovsky at this point. Not that Chase really did a whole lot to make it a hard split decision, but fuck, man, like, it's time we get some accountability for some of these fucking shitty judges, man. This is just another one of those like embarrassing moments.
And to be honest, in my own opinion, Jay Collier looked like fucking shit during that fight, like absolute dog shit. He made Arlovsky look good, which right now that's hard to do. And I say that in the nicest way possible because, like I said, always been an Arlovsky fan, namely of his early days work. And, you know, there's a reason why he's been the champ. The dude's a legitimately good fighter, great fight IQ. At this point in his career, though, if anybody is thinking that's Andrei Arlovsky, that is just a shell of the man that used to be Andrei Arlovsky. And I say that nicely because I still wouldn't fight him. But then again,
I think
I'm not a professional mixed martial artist, so there is that.
I think the best description for Andrei Arlovsky at this point would be a quote from the great Captain Zach Brannigan. The mind is willing, but the body is weak and fragile.
Yeah, that about nails it down right there.
I mean, and we've said it a million fucking times, man. I don't like to sit here and shit on Arlovsky, but again, give me a fucking reason not to, man. How many fucking times in a row can we say this is going to be a fucking pathetic decision win that they're going to give to Arlovsky because of his fucking name? And how many times in a row is it going to fucking do exactly that? Just, well, I'm done with it, man.
Here's the problem is now he's on what, a 4-fight streak or 5 now?
I think that was 5 now, yeah.
So now they have to, at this point, be thinking, put him in the mix with somebody with a number by their name.
Yeah, give him somebody that, like, and this is what pisses me off, is because we talked about this, I think 3 fights ago for him. This is where they're going to put him back at the point where they're going to throw him in there with somebody who's going to fucking hurt him. Yep. Somebody with a legitimate name or with a legitimate ranking for a fucking reason. And they're going to get in there and they're going to fucking hurt him because they're not going to give a shit that his name is Andrei Arlovsky. They're just going to see him as a fucking paycheck and they're going to fucking work him. And he might legitimately get his career ended and get fucked up coming against some of these top ranked dudes based off these bullshit decisions to keep throwing him.
Well, and here's the worst part is, I say worst part because it's not really bad. Well, it is bad because of the way I'm going to say this. To be honest, I hope he gets put in there with somebody like between a 12 and 15 rank. And they absolutely cremate that motherfucker right in the middle of the octagon. And not because I want Arlovsky to get hurt. I really don't. I like the guy. He's always been a stand-up fucking... he's the prime example of what you want in a mixed martial artist type of human being, that kind of thing. But it's time to close down the fucking... It's time to pull the curtain, grab that big old fucking shepherd's hook, and pull that motherfucker off stage. And if that takes putting him in there with a killer that's in the top 10, 15, fuck it. Let it happen. Because apparently he doesn't know to put himself out to pasture, so we have to let somebody else do it for him.
Right.
And
at this point, yeah.
I don't want to see it happen, but that's going to have to be the way it's going to be.
Yeah. So moving on from that shit show to what arguably turned out to be, in my opinion, a legitimate contender for fight of the year so far. Absolutely. And bonus certifiably fight of the night last weekend. Rob Font versus Chito Vera did not disappoint. Rob Font came out in true fucking Tyson Chartier fucking fashion and just dumped volume at fucking Chito. And the problem was Chito's defense looked chef's kiss fucking beautiful. Rob was in love with the body shot, and Chito figured out early on, keep that fucking elbow tucked, and Rob kept hitting fucking arm, kept hitting fucking guard. Rob fell in love with that fucking jab. Cheeto figured out real easy, keep that fucking hand there. And Rob started doing nothing but hitting fucking hand, hitting fucking glove. Cheeto's defense kept him out of danger for 98% of that fight. And the few times where he was in danger, he managed to compose himself and get himself out fairly fucking quickly and just absolutely outdo Rob Font everywhere and show, in my opinion, a pretty fucking good definition of just how well-rounded and durable he is in doing it for 25 minutes, not headhunting, where there were several opportunities during that fight where Cheeto had Rob fucking hurt and on his ass and could have dove in and fucking went down and ended the goddamn thing, but he didn't. Infuriatingly so, but Cheeto showed he has patience, he has composure, and he can fight for 25 minutes in a tough fucking fight if he needs to. That being said, he probably could have ended that fight in the third, maybe in the second, if he really would have poured it on. He had Rob's number almost from the get-go, and it just got more magnified as the fight went on, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, he did. He had his fucking number to the goddamn T. It was fucking wild. To be honest, Cheeto put on a masterclass in defense in as far as MMA is concerned. His defense was absolutely beautiful. 25 minutes, yeah, you're going to get hit at least a couple of times. That's nature of the sport. But for the large majority of that fight, it was a masterclass on how to not take damage.
Right.
And then how to delve it out when the timing was right. Because, man, did he have fucking timing on Saturday. Jesus Christ, was it good. There's a reason why he dropped him in, what was it, the second, the third, and the fourth?
I have to say, in every round but the first.
Yeah. And, man, I'll say it was more than mildly infuriating, especially in the fourth when he dropped him with like 2.5 minutes to go. And Rob just kind of laid there in a fucking daze. But
stared at him.
You know, good on him for showing the patience, because not a lot of fighters have that. A lot of them go in there and they'll blow their fucking load. So I think this might, as much as I hate to say it, it might have been part of a plan for him to see, let's see if we can take this to 25 and how we feel at the end of 25. He didn't even look like he was breathing that hard at the end of 25, and like his gas tank was fucking phenomenal, considering he was on his bike a lot. But man, did he make it work for him. Absolutely brilliant performance. And to be honest, some of the stuff I've seen come about him this week and people talking shit about him, I'm going, fuck off. The dude put on literally one of the greatest performances of the year. And possibly, as far as defensive fucking fighting is concerned in UFC, quite possibly the best defensive performance we've ever seen in the UFC.
Well, I would say absolutely one of. I don't know, because there's been some pretty good ones, but I would absolutely say it's in the conversation for damn sure. Undeniably, it's in the conversation for greatest fucking defensive showings. Fucking A, Cheeto, man. Cheeto fucking Vera, dude. That being said, the other quick little recap worth mentioning from last weekend, there was just a couple of good moments on that BKFC card that went down. The Crowder versus Lopez fight. I think it was 3 shots that actually did it, but the last one that he did actually broke Lopez's jaw to the extent that the doctor stopped it because they could see how his jaw sank in the fight that fucking quick from just getting stung. Beautiful fucking work from a couple of fucking cans for absolute fucking sure. That being said, the headbutt, the fucking headbutt. That's all I'm gonna say. If the headbutts from last weekend, fucking BKFC, are beyond infuriating. So hopefully, this weekend's card for BKFC is a little better, but I have very, very low expectations. That being said, we are going to take advantage of the opportunity from the craziness we've had going on recently and try and bring back one of our favorite mini segments, if you will, here. With us being such dramatic hardcore fans, sometimes we need to try and give the fans, in my opinion, a little bit more of a reflective side of some of more of the viewers, for the most part, maybe what they would think. So we've got a segment here that we call the casual corner. And with the way things we've had going lately, we've had our own casual in our own Tapology group. So if you would ever pay attention to his fucking messages, we might actually get here live on the show our very own casual to make his quick picks for this weekend's upcoming card. If you'd ever check his fucking messages or pay attention when he's told to hop into a fucking show. That being said, this weekend's main card that we are bringing our casual on, or attempting to anyway, is for the UFC 274 dual title match over in Phoenix, Arizona. Rose Namajunas defending her now strawweight belt against the literal originator of the strawweight division, who ironically enough won the belt by beating Rose Namajunas, Carla Esparza. And then in the main event, Charles Dubronx Oliveira taking on Justin the Highlight Gaethje. So if our casual would ever check his fucking messages or figure out how to work Zoom all of a sudden, we could get him in here for some fucking picks.
Filthy fucking casuals, man. That's the problem.
Some people's kids, man. You buy them books, and all they do is take naps on the fucking covers.
What are you going to do?
Apparently, he's even being casual with his Zoom logins. He's now checking his messages. We should have some casuality here shortly, hopefully.
Some people's children.
Good thing we're not doing this live or anything.
I know, right? Making me a little fucking nervous. A little hotter on the collar. What the fuck?
Right. That being said, while we've got a casual waiting to pop in here, we do also have tomorrow starting at 1 p.m. Eastern that the casual is probably not going to have any clue about. Bader versus Congo 2 Bellator 280. Literally tomorrow afternoon, there are 2 fights on this entire card. Anyone will have the most distinct idea of who the fuck it is. One being the co-main event, only because it's Yoel Romero, who was originally supposed to take on Melvin Manhoff, who had to pull out last fucking minute and now faces mediocre at best Alex Polizzi from the BKFC world, stepping back into Bellator. And then in the beyond infuriatingly disappointing, I'm telling you right now, main event taking place in Paris, France, of all fucking places, Ryan Bader defending the heavyweight belt in a run back against Czech Congo. Just fucking shoot me now. There's a reason that very little press has covered this event and very little press went to Paris to cover this fucking event. It's going to be an absolute shit show. I am 99.99% confident. We will see when it actually goes off, if it's even worth recapping. I have very, very strong doubts, but we'll see. That being said, we finally have ourselves our very own show casual.
I haven't logged into this PC in that Zoom yet. And I just realized that as I'm logging in, it's like, oh shit.
Oh, kids these days.
Yeah.
So in the tradition of our fan favorite segment, Casual Corner, Tim, I would like to bring you on and have you give the very raw casualist picks for our co-main and main event. We will start with our co-main, Rose Namajunas versus Carla Esparza. Who do you think walks away with the belt this weekend, sir?
I will have to look. I researched. I forget names. I'm not good with names. It takes me a while to get used to them.
It's all good. That's part of the corner, buddy.
Yeah, that's just it. I'm getting used to the names a little bit better. As you like complain about somebody, that needs to get out of the game 4 times, I start to pick up on the name, So,
see?
And because Jar Jar tripped to the right in the 4th scene is why this person is winning, just so you know. I have a feeling TJ, if that were actually the way I won last week, is just that random, you'd probably been more upset yet.
Yeah, probably. But it's all right. You're gonna trip over your own dick this week.
It's not impossible. Yep. Let's get in here. Oh crap. Again, I have to see the fights here. How do I set these up again?
The best way is to just hop on UFC.com and look at their events, click on the event that's happening this weekend, and bam, it'll show you who it is. And I'm pretty sure you can pick by picture.
I was just saying, they'll show you pictures there too. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. Because I watched the fights, some of their previous fights. I've been doing this. I did this last week. Watched a few of their most recent fights, see how they did. And then I kind of just watched their last meeting before the last meeting they had and kind of see, sometimes you can see like somebody's kind of just posing. I swear to God, you can see it in their eyes. And
To
you
be
can
fair,
see
you
it.
had
That's
a
how I've
little
been thinking.
extra research time given last week than you normally do.
just a lot of it. Yeah, that is 100% true.
All
I'm
right.
just
We
trying to
know the
find
reason you
this.
did so well last week is because you put your heart into your picks.
I literally put my heart into my picks. You know, you gotta put your heart on the line if you really want to win, TJ. Sorry, but
Kids these
there we
days.
go. There we go. We're getting in there. Yeah, I just want to make sure I get the right one, and I chose it right because I know some of them I changed after looking at it a little bit more. I changed my mind a couple times over. I don't know how you guys do with that. Do you guys do that ever when you're looking at it just as you're about to pick? You're like, I have a feeling. This other one, no. See, now that's why you lost last week. No.
No, because the fucking craziness that was all the picks that I missed last week
We're crazy.
only possible by true casuality.
Puncher's chance, God damn it, puncher's chance.
And I just would love to have been there when as Golf T realized I was actually passing him and saw the look on his face. That's all I cared about. Truly. Okay.
I
So
think you ain't catching that live.
yeah. Good thing we didn't catch that live. Yeah, I'm sure there was a little bit of adult language. All right. So I picked we're talking at the top of the top here. Marlon Vera.
What?
What?
Wait a minute.
You're looking at last week,
That's
Oh, I'm looking at
last
last
week's.
week's. That's right. That's right. Okay.
True
Wrong one.
nature of the casual.
Yep. See. Yeah, I don't know how to run this site very well yet. That's the problem.
UFC.com.
Still trying
not run. You just literally, it's right on the front page.
Yeah, you don't have to do your Tapology picks live. We're just asking for actual picks live.
Oh, actual picks.
Yeah, you don't have to do your Tapology picks live. You got until Saturday, I think Saturday at noon before you have to lock in your picks on Tapology. And for anybody watching or listening, tapology.com, not sponsored or affiliated.
So you're talking about
in any way, shape, or form. You can go make yourself an account for free and join the Pick'em group. ImNoBookie, all one word, or group 965. The link is also in the description and on the link tree. Join for free, make your picks, get them in by Saturday, and I will throw them in the rotationary show that will be live during the UFC show Saturday, updating with the slideshow for everybody's picks in real time if you get it to me in time.
There you go. Check your Zoom chat and then just click on the link.
Yeah, that'll be easier. That'll be easier. Yeah. See, I actually looked up into it. I took a lot of time.
How the fuck did you manage to pick picks and you can't even get to a website? Did your wife do that for you?
Yeah, she was.
Right?
At
Are we actually looking at Cassie's picks on Tapology? Is that what the problem is here?
You know,
maybe,
that's the case.
maybe. All right. So here we go. Oh yeah, this one here. This is fairly easy. All right. So picks for this week. I'm in this one here.
The main event.
Looking here. I'm trying to remember who I picked for sure. I'm pretty sure I picked Charles Oliveira. I can't pronounce his name.
Oliveira.
For this one. And that see, I don't know the names that well. I mean, that's the other problem. You guys say these names on a constant basis. I will say these are hard to pronounce, and I'll give you all the credit.
Wait a minute.
For that.
I need to ask.
What?
Who is Charles Oliveira fighting?
Justin Gaethje? That's the link you just gave me?
It's kind of like
That's the
making somebody with a really bad accent try to pronounce something. This is fantastic.
It is. Yeah, just I don't know. This is here. I watched, like I said, I watched a few of the fights in each one of these. I watched at least the last two each one had.
Must have been
Kinda
watching on
is-
mute because they usually say their names quite a few times.
They
All right, so
they
we got-
do, but I don't pay attention to names. I pay attention to what's going on.
All right,
And,
so we got a casual Charles in the main event here. So who you got in the
Casual
co-main
Charles.
event for the ladies fight taking the belt?
Rose. I'd say Rose on this one.
What's Rose's last name?
I don't know. I don't pajamas. Pretty much not Namajunas. Yeah, I know. Here he goes again.
Namajunas,
Thank
yeah.
you, Galti.
It's close.
Point that
It's
out.
close. Not bad. Not bad.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
All
as
right,
bad
so
as
we
those
got
other
and new for the co-main, and then and still for the main event. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Casual. We appreciate your time, sir.
Yep. Thank you very much. And yeah, you guys have a great night, and good luck with that participation trophy there this week, Galti. Love you.
You
I'll
better
see you later.
bottle of lube ready for that when I stick it up your ass later.
Oh no, you described it like you wanted me to present it to you. So apparently I'm the presenter. So okay. On that note,
Be like Hitler.
Good luck
Time
this
for your
week.
pineapple, Hitler.
exactly. Good luck. No, good luck. I actually, I respect both of you for your picks on weekly. Obviously, it took me a little bit of work, but you guys kind of had a good idea. Take it easy, guys. Bye.
All right. And with that, that is our fan favorite casual corner here. Once again, thank you to our favorite Avocado for coming on and giving us our casual picks of the week. I'm going to try and run down the news here real quick before we get into our meat and potatoes and jump into the fun stuff for UFC 274 here. But before we jump into the news here, just to see if we might once again have ourselves a bit of a new perspective, if you will. A couple of fine fellas from over on the world of Insta Grizzles have got themselves a podcast they have started up where they are also talking a little bit about the world of punchy kicky that we do love and hear celebrate on the I'm No Joe podcast. Talking about Chris and Vinny, who hopefully will be in here fairly shortly here to help us break down our UFC 274 talk. So for the news, I'm going to try and run down this as quick as I can here to try and bust these out. There really wasn't a whole hell of a lot, but we did get some interesting last minute announcements today and some rumor confirmations that are going to be kind of big deals going forward.
Quite a bit of good fight announcements as well.
Absolutely. So first off, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, Melvin Manhoff is out. Alex Polizzi is stepping in to take on Yoel Romero this weekend in Paris on literally a week's notice. I don't think it's going to be the most exciting fight in the world, but again, that's a short notice fight against a fucking terrifying dude. So I will give Polizzi credit for that. That being said, we got a strange reworking of last weekend's fall through. Manel Cape is now taking on Rogerio Bontorin at UFC 275 in Singapore on June 11th. We got a announcement in only the way that Kevin Holland could on his OnlyFans via choking out Big Bird. Kevin Holland will now officially be taking on Tim the Dirty Bird Means June 18th. In the UFC event. I'm very excited to see how that fight plays out. Bellator did a little bit of shuffling in their housework. Kat Zingano finally getting back in there, stepping in against Pam Sorensen, one that's been rumored. We finally got it locked down again here for Bellator 282, taking place on June 24th. We got a fucking smorgasbord of UFC 276 news coming up for July 2nd here. The trio they announced early on, Robbie Lawler versus Brian Barbarina. That is an interesting matchup to say the least. I'm very curious to see how that shakes loose. Sean Strickland versus Alex Pereira. That's the one that I think everybody is going to be salivating as we get a little closer to. Sean and Alex are literally fighting neck and neck to try and get that shot at Izzy, and the winner in dominant fashion could absolutely put a fucking stamp on that. But the one that probably stole the early news for UFC 276 announcements, the long-awaited quote-unquote top 10 ranked fighter for Sugar Sean O'Malley. It finally happened despite all the contract bullshit. Sugar Sean O'Malley is finally going to take on a top 10 challenger, or top 10 competitor rather, in the form of Pedro fucking Munoz. that could be a very, very interesting fight to shake loose just the same. Coming off of that, we got a pair for the July 9th, week after fight night, that actually makes it look surprisingly not like a post-pay-per-view fight night card. We've got the Rafael battle reignited once again. Thank you, MMA gods. We fucking get it after all. Rafael dos Santos versus Rafael Fiziev is officially going down July 9th. And what makes it even more fun is they announced it with an even sweet matchup to go with it. Cody Garbrandt stepping in against Hani Yahya. We know the chin is suspect, but Hani Yahya's not looking at the chin. He wants to take that ass down to the ground and go round and fucking round. I'm fucking here for both of them. That being said, looks like we got a couple of new fellas here on the block. How's it going, gentlemen? Looks like we got you on board.
Going pretty good. How you guys doing?
Not too shabby, not too shabby.
Task welcome, fellas.
Glad to be here.
Got a couple little news segments here, a couple little announcements to run down real quick, and then we will get into some meat and potatoes and talk about all that fun stuff that I heard you guys get into on your podcast last week as well.
All right. Sounds good, man. I'm excited about this weekend. I'm really excited about this card.
Hell yes. All right. So July 23rd fight night has its official main event, and I'm damn sure interested in that. Excuse me. Curtis Razor Blades stepping in against Tom Aspinall. That has got all sorts of fucking crazy potential written all over it.
In the
UFC.
Arena,
Yeah, UFC 277, July 30th, has one that I am absolutely fucking stoked about here. It's kind of been another one that we talked about. We've heard rumors on a couple different websites. A couple different folks have made some mention of hearing things. It's apparently official now. Anthony Smith is getting back in the fucking octagon, and they are giving him Magomed Ankalaev just like he fucking asked for. That, I think, is going to be stylistically a fucking beautiful matchup. And the fact that they're putting it on a pay-per-view shows that they understand how fucking relevant that fight is as well. Kind of on the other side of that, on the we'll see where it goes side, coming after that, August 6th card has its main event announced in the form of Thiago Santos trying to get back in the relevancy column, taking on Jamal Hill, who is absolutely fucking tearing it up since the Bear Jew gave his elbow the what for. That, I think, has got all sorts of fucking crazy potential, because Jamal Hill essentially has taken over that Thiago Santos power striker position in the top of that division, in my opinion. And Thiago's kind of sliding his way down. So if Jamal comes in and does work, that could shake up fucking passing of the torch type of situation, if you know what I mean. Kind of a weird one here to round out the fight announcements. September 3rd's UFC card, potentially but not officially yet, taking place somewhere in France, because they don't know yet. That's just where they're eyeballing right now. But a fight that kind of got thrown together out of a mishmash of last weekend's news. Cyril Gane stepping back in to fight on home soil, but against Tai Tuivasa. Not the matchup we thought we were getting, but I'll fucking take that just the same, considering Cyril just had that interim status and just had the title fight. That puts Ty in a real great fucking spot if he gets over that one, especially in France of all fucking places. Couple of interesting announcements, not fight news related directly. Dan Hooker has made the official announcement he is done with 145. He's a big dude, and we know that. We've seen that if you've watched any of his recent fights. Even when he made it back to 145, it was a fucking rough cut, and he looked like death. Despite how he might have performed, there's only so long that you can do the hard cut, and we all know that. Dan Hooker apparently has hit that point. Thankfully, he's done making that fucking cut. He's going to stay at 55. If he focuses and he stays there, you know damn well Eugene can get him where he fucking needs to be. So that, in my opinion, is a nice piece of fucking news.
Is that why he's been fighting bad? I didn't know. I didn't know that was in his. Okay.
In kind of state but still important national news, Anne Maria DeMars, Ronda Rousey's mother, has officially been appointed to the California State Athletic Commission after being literally the first woman ever to win gold in judo in the worlds, and then dominating ADCC, and then of course raising Ronda fucking Rousey to be the monster that she grew up to fucking be. I think Anna is probably one of the most respected voices to be appointed of recent times to an athletic commission, and is very vocal about wanting to get rid of some of the fluffy bullshit that commission has been getting away with for a long time. So hopefully we see some action taking place from that playing out. Interesting recap over last weekend that did not get a lot of news, but is still pretty relevant, from two dudes who have both recently made their way out of the UFC, but not for lack of fucking trying here. Damian Maia actually submitted Alex Cowboy Oliveira in BJJ All-Stars 8 last weekend in just under 3 minutes, in typical fucking smooth as a baby's asshole Damian Maia fashion. Just unfucking stoppable badassery inside or outside of a fucking octagon. Give him a chance. He's going to make you fucking sad. And poor Cowboy had to be on the receiving end of it this weekend. That being said, last little piece we've got here, we got literal last minute announcements, like I said, just within the last 2 hours being officially confirmed. The first being Dustin Poirier's giant obnoxious $20,000 check to Charles Oliveira's project in Brazil has officially cleared, so it is no longer just an Instagram publicity stunt. He has actually put his money where his fucking mouth is. So it was a little suspicious for a little while. It's nice to hear that when you say you're going to do good, you actually do good. And the good fight, as it were, is helping Oliveira bring that good fight to South America. Now, the two really interesting ones here. First, June 25th, Arman Sarukian stepping in against Matthias Gamrot. Someone's fucking head is getting taken off their shoulders. I'm telling you right fucking now, that is not a fight that you want to fucking miss. I don't care if you only tune in for that one on that card. Somebody's going to sleep in that fucking fight. But the one that's even bigger than that, the literal news segment ending piece that I have here, it's official, boys and girls. Strap your big boy panties on. UFC 276 has its meat and potatoes assigned. We're getting the fucking trilogy. Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway 3 is signed, sealed, delivered. 276 is when we see it go down. Fucking A. I'm excited for that one. God damn it.
Yeah, I heard about it today. I thought it was just a rumor. Didn't know it was official. That's great to hear.
That was one of the rumors that was on the sneak peek or the screenshot from Dana White's wall that they hadn't officially announced, but they had listed out like it was already done. So when they confirmed it today, MMA Angels were singing.
Finally, get a chance to finally watch Max. I swear to God, if Max does not go in there and just fucking beat the brakes off of him, I'm
right.
Furious.
He has to obliterate Volkanovski. There can be no decision this time. It has to be definitive, period. But
yeah,
if anybody has the ability to potentially do that to Volkanovski, it's Max fucking Holloway, baby.
He can't do his normal slow start. He's got to be fucking high speed from the get-go and just keep pouring it on, because
we got to start from like round 3 max and just go from there.
Because I'm hard pressed to see any judge, no matter what way the fight is going, call against Volkanovski right now.
He's hard fucking pressed, man, for sure.
So get robbed once, fucking get robbed twice, fucking third time, they're definitely going to give it away.
Right. Well, and the fucked up part about it is because of how this is shaken loose, if for some reason we go to I'm knocking on fucking wood, this doesn't happen, I will fucking walk into traffic. If God forbid the third fucking time we see this fight, we end up in a fucking controversial judge's decision and it doesn't go Max's way, they'll never give him another title fight, period. He'll never get another title fight. And that's fucking detrimental to the sport, in my opinion.
Yeah, because you can't just have him sit at the fucking top, because it's where he'll stay, because there's nobody good enough to beat him right now.
Nobody's getting around him. Fuck no.
And he'll be stuck there. The only way he'll get another title fight is if he changes fucking divisions.
Yeah, and if he goes up to lightweight for official like
And
permanent good. Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
And yeah, I don't see that happening anytime soon either.
Maybe in like 5 or 6 years from now, when he's getting a little bit
Yeah,
older
when
and
he's-
it's harder to
when he's
cut the weight down
done.
that far. But other than that, no.
So, a quick question about it. If Max gets the win in your eyes, do you see the UFC trying to give him a fourth fight right off the bat like they've been doing? Especially with Volk's
Absolutely.
path that he's had, all the wins he's had, just like Max wins the title and boom, fourth fight. You give Volk the rematch. I wouldn't want to see that, but I feel like they'd do that.
The only way that that doesn't happen is if he beats him so unmercifully that they go, yeah, no, you need to go have another tune-up fight to get yourself back in the win column. But he's got to literally beat the ever-living fucking brakes off of him and basically stomp a mud hole in him and walk him fucking dry and inside I'll say 15 minutes. If he does it inside of 3 rounds, yeah. But if it goes to decision and he wins, yeah, they're going for a fucking 4-peat.
That would be the only thing I'd be a little worried about. It's kind of I remember you saying the other day about the Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena thing, the whole tough season 30 and everything. It's kind of a bullshit thing because it's just that formality, the whole fight, and they're trying to hype up this shit with the Ultimate Fighter this year. There's nothing to hype up. I don't want to see the fight again. I think it was kind of a fluke. It was cool to see, right? You know, that big underdog
you can't take away
story,
from the moment.
But
yeah, absolutely.
I still feel like it was a fluke, and I don't feel like anybody really wants to see the fight. Amanda Nunes is probably going to tear through or get the title back. And who's really out there? That's the biggest thing. Like maybe Valentina Shevchenko or something. You need to try to get like a super fight going for Amanda Nunes. There's somebody that could actually have a chance.
Yeah, somebody that would make it worth being a fight for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick here before we jump over to UFC, I do have to make mention if the Bellator card at fucking noon Central Time is too early for you, like it will be for most rational fucking humans in America anyway, fret not, because tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, BKFC 25, AdamsVsCleckler is going to come along and disappoint you for the evening what Bellator would be disappointing you for at lunchtime. This is quite literally one of those cards that they put a number on to try and make it more exciting. And there's 2 fights on the whole goddamn card that anyone is going to give any of a fuck about. And even then, it's only rationally, because one is the Let Me Bang Bro moron again, coming off his 7th or 8th ass whooping in a row, taking on David Mundell for no fucking reason in the co-main event spot. But to make it even more insulting, the main event is the heavyweight belt being defended just 2 months after it was fucking won in crazy fucking fashion against Dylan Kleckler, who has no fucking rightful claim to make that, but such is BKFC fashion. So if your Friday needs disappointment, we've got you with Bellator at lunch disappointment and BKFC for evening time disappointment. That being said, Saturday you can woosah, breathe in, breathe out. Bullshit stays on Friday. Saturday comes with the goodness. You can relax. The MMA gods are shining down upon us once again. We are back with a pay-per-view UFC weekend to feed the emptiness that our souls have now been created with. That being said, we have not one but 2 belts on the fucking line this weekend in 2 very, very entertaining and delectable matchups. But before we get to the belts themselves, we've actually got, because it's pay-per-view most likely, a decent card building up to the pair of title fights. So I'm going to start early here. I'm not going to start all the way at the beginning because there is a little bit of ridiculous, but I would like to ask you gentlemen, since you are the new ones on the show here, what do you boys see as that standout fight on the early prelims card? Because there's a couple that I could see being real nice, but what stands out to you guys the most on that early prelim?
Okay, so one I've been looking at is CJ Vergara's fight. I think it's his debut. I'm not sure if I'm completely right on that. I think he was supposed to fight a couple months back. It got pulled or whatnot, and he's finally getting a debut now. So I'm excited to see that. You know, Dana White's Contender Series, He had a good showing on that last year. It was exciting. I try to keep up on all that. You know, I don't really watch a lot of Bellator and catch that, but you know, I watch the Contender Series, the Ultimate Fighter, and all that UFC stuff. But I'm looking forward to that. And then I like Brian Ortega. So just for the fact that his woman is Tracy Cortez, I think that'll be a good. I know the other Melissa Gatto, I think, is who she's fighting. I think that's going to be a good fight. So on the early prelims, I think those are two exciting fights.
I absolutely agree. The Vergara fight, I'm not as excited about because I try not to concern myself too much with the Supkin series just because of how fucking flaky some of those guys turn out to be. But I'm absolutely 100% right on board with you there. And fucking Ortega's old lady, Tracy Cortez versus Melissa Gatto. Gatto is a fucking just dynamo. When she gets rolling, she can steamroll just about anybody. But Cortez supposedly has been very seriously working on her shit with her old man. So it could be real fucking fun. I'm 100% on board with you there.
Hopefully she's been working on that guillotine, because if she's working on that guillotine with him or the triangle, fuck. Yeah, that could be a fun night. Or I will say the one that I'm most excited about on there is the Lupe Godinez fight. I want to see how Lupe fucking manages, because she's literally the epitome of hot cold. She win lost her last 5 fights. She's coming off a win, so I want to see if she can stroll it into 2. And she's always kind of fucking exciting. She steps in on short notice. So
I was gonna say, I'm excited to see what she can do when she's had time again, because part of the reason that we've seen her hot cold is because she's been like the new version of fucking Angela Hill, where she'll fight and then 2 weeks later she'll fight, and in her post-fight fucking decision win, she'll say that she wants to be on the next week's fucking card. And it's like, lady, breathe. There's more fucking cards in the year. You can get another one. You don't have to do it next week. Don't burn all your shit out in the first fucking quarter.
Exactly.
Breathe. It's all right. So with a little time, we've generally seen her in the win column. I'm wondering if we're going to see that again this weekend. So yeah, I'm there with you on that one too. So that being said, I don't remember the last time we had a prelim card with this many fucking fights on it. Not that I'm complaining that they're giving us lots of enjoyable potential fights, but holy shit, do we really need 7 fights on the fucking prelim before we get to a pair of title fights on the fucking main card? Crying out loud.
You know, I was thinking about that, but then we've had so many lost fights on cards lately where cards, they've been pulled last minute. I'm wondering if they're thinking, oh shit, for these, maybe we need to pad them a little bit just in case that shit happens.
Like just last week, I think we just had 11, right? It was, we had a last second cancel.
I was to say we
like
lost
right on Saturday morning. There was an illness or whatever, so we
there
didn't
was
even
an illness Saturday morning and then a pull down before the fights they started. Yeah,
that's the only reason I can think that they're fucking stuffing this many cards. What is, because there's, I think it's 15 in total this week.
Yeah. I think that's only the second time this year. I think at the start of the year they had 115. I think the first card of the year or something.
I was going to say, I think it was the
they
first
had
one.
Like 15 that, and then everything else we've had maybe 1 or 2 with 14. Everything else has been right around 12.
Like every week. There's also been a lot of quick finishes too.
Yeah, that too, and that's a good point as well. Is that with some of the fucking cards where we had like 7 fucking finishes out of, or fucking 7, yeah, I think 7 out of fucking 8 finishes from one card, and then one card we had like of the fucking 5 fights on the main, all 5 went to like less than 2-minute finishes, like between submissions and knockouts. It was less than 2 minutes for every fucking card or every fight on the card. So yeah, they could definitely be stacking a little time wise in anticipation of some oh shit moments. That would be smart for at least for them.
With this card, I can understand that because there are some potentials for oh shit moments on this card, and a good.
There actually is. So, how do you feel about the prelims? What do you think stands out to you guys the most on the prelims here?
For me, I don't know a lot of the other fighters on the the prelim side, other than the featured prelim. Right, Randy Brown against Chaos Williams.
I'm in the dark.
I don't know. Vincent's more that like that casual you had on earlier, he loves and enjoys the fights. But for me, that's the one I'm excited about every fight all the time. But whenever we were teenagers, we watched the fights a bit. I got out of it for a handful of years, and just this past year and a half, we've really been like back to every week, watching every fight night, every pay-per-view, keeping up on it. So for me, that's the only fight I can really say. I know the fighters, so I'm really excited about the feature. Randy Brown, Chaos Williams. I think that both of the guys, I think it'll go to Randy Brown, right? Because he's got the experience. But Chaos Williams, just, the excitement, the knockout factor. I feel like it might be a war. It might be a really good fight. But other than that, I'm just excited to see the fights. Any fight is great for me. I don't even know any of the names really. A few other fights that are on the prelims. But every fight, main card, oh man, top to bottom, excited for all of them.
Nice. Well, there are a couple here on the prelims that maybe we can help you guys get excited about here. Not that it's the most exciting, but they definitely paid attention when they did these bookings. The opening fight on the prelim card here, Francisco Trinaldo, the ever unaging fucking dynamo that just does not fucking stop. He's like a littler version, a more compact version, I guess would be more accurate, of Yoel Romero, and that he doesn't age and you can't fucking stop him. Taking on Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts, coming straight out of Henry Hoof's camp down there in fucking Deerfield Beach, Florida. Definitely a very, very potential exciting matchup to get the prelim card open with, for damn sure.
Dude, that one, in my opinion, as far as the prelims are concerned, that's one of only two on this prelim where I can say there is a high possibility of fireworks and somebody going to sleep really quickly.
Trinaldo versus a fucking Sanford MMA product? Dude, it could get fun real fast.
Yeah.
And then right in the middle there, you've got Brandon Royval clinging for all his fucking fingernails will hold on to that number 6 ranking, with Matt Schnell trying to tear his way up past him up in the fucking rankings, with a very interesting potential grapplers matchup in that one. But at the same time, we've also seen how many fucking fights where we've got two great grapplers and it ends up being a fucking horrible stand-up match. So either way, potential interest there.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the only other one I feel, aside from obviously fucking Randy and Chaos, really even worth mentioning for me at least, is Macy Chaizon versus Norma Dumont. Not so much because it's such a relevant fight, but because this is one of those situations where Norma Dumont is clinging to the ladies 145 division because she's too fucking big to go down to 135. Realistically, she just does not make that cut. And on the other side of that, you've got Macy Chaizon, who has quite literally had her ass beaten out of the 25 and 35 and is now looking for somewhere to fit in by trying to bulk up going to 45. And Dumont might not be a world breaker, but she sure the fuck ain't somebody you want to walk into if you're not comfortable in your weight yet.
No, not at all. And he's getting beat the hell out of 2 divisions already. Right. That's not saying a lot. I'm just saying.
Going up to the bigger ladies now to try for a third fucking ass whooping.
And you know what? I'll even play devil's advocate on myself here. Maybe it is a weight cut issue that was causing her to not be able to perform to her fucking standards in those other 2 divisions.
Yeah, I'm willing to give it the shot. I'm just saying it's an old strategy, Cotton.
Chances are see that one pay out.
Right.
Although I will say the other fight that I want to see how Lagoy Ivanov is gonna hold out against Marcos Rogério de Lima, because de Lima seems to have been on a tear and he's like a fucking Brazilian version of the fucking Hulk. He's massive.
I'm honestly hit and miss on that fight. There's like half of me thinks that fight could be crazy fucking exciting because we have seen Rogério just fucking flatline dudes. On the other half of me feels like that's going to be a fucking 15-minute walrus slap fight because we have seen Ivanov just fucking literally lay on someone the entire fucking fight to make sure he gets the decision. And I don't fucking need that, least of all on a pay-per-view card with good fights around it.
Well, that's why it's on the fucking prelims, though.
Right, exactly.
But you're right. It could end up as a walrus fucking slap fight again. But after watching fucking Delima fucking just flatline Big Ben Rothwell in his last outing,
right?
Like that gives me a lot of fucking hope.
Yeah, because that stung a little bit to watch, but goddamn, if he didn't put the fucking business to him.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So I get that. I get that for sure. That being said, though, that'll roll us into the actual meat section of our meat and potatoes portion here. The main fucking card of UFC 274. And goddamn, if this thing isn't fucking loaded top to bottom. So right out of the fucking gate, they're not wasting any goddamn time, and I fucking appreciate it. Donald Cowboy Cerrone versus Joe Lauzon in what has been rumored by many to potentially be good, bad, or otherwise the last time we see the Cowboy in the octagon. Also, the first time Cowboy is going to have his youngest son cage side, and it has already literally made him cry in 3 separate interviews just talking about it. So my question is, does we see that badass Cowboy, because he knows his son's in the crowd, come out and just put the fucking screws to Joe Lauzon? Or do we see that Cowboy that freezes up under the fucking spotlight now do that potentially in front of his son and in potentially his last fight in the UFC?
That's a tough fucking call. Because calling it as a parent myself, knowing that your kid is going to be in that situation, seeing exactly what you're going to do and how that plays out, that's a whole lot of fucking pressure. Look, you can have a million fucking people around you that you don't fucking know, but that little spawn of yours,
That little one,
what
yeah.
that'll make you a really small person or a really fucking big person. And there's no happy medium there. So I wish I could say which way I think that's going to go, but I have a feeling. Let's see. Let's go back to when his first son was born and showed up to the event. Man, did he put on a fucking show.
Yeah.
So I think with what we've seen in Cerrone in the past, I think this may be that same type of moment, which, to be honest, for me sucks as a fan of both of them, because I'm a fan of both Joe Lauzon and Donald Cerrone. And if I see Joe Lauzon get absolutely fucking decimated, I'm going to be a little destroyed for him, but at the same time, I'm going to be fucking stoked to watch Cerrone do that work. But on the other side of that, Joe Lauzon is a sneaky, crafty veteran as well with some gnarly fucking jujitsu. So don't get me wrong, Cerrone's good in his own right in jujitsu, but in my opinion, Lauzon is the better of the two of those when it comes to the jujitsu aspect of the game. So, but I think I'll go ahead and I'll say I think Cerrone gets this purely on that fact of having his kid there with him and knowing what he did the first time with his firstborn.
See that?
See, for me, I didn't know that, so that's a good little factor to add in. You know, I didn't know his son was going to be at the fight, so I want to see Cerrone have a really great performance. Right, it's just a fan. I'm even a fan of Joe. Right, I want to just see that war. I feel like that's why it's one of the best fights of the whole night. You know, but that factor could put that added pressure, like you were just saying. I don't know, because I don't have any kids, but I feel like if my son was there, you know, just that thought, like my last fight or last few fights hadn't performed so good, you know, it would put a little more pressure on the shoulders. So it might freeze him up. He might not come out and have the performance we want to see out of Cerrone. That's my opinion. Now that now that I know that factor. Beforehand, I was like, no, Cerrone's going to go in. He's going to show us the good old shit. Like, we're going to see it, and we're going to have a badass war between the two of them. Hopefully, it'll go to decision, just because I want to see 15 minutes of them whooping each other's ass. That's just really. But
yeah, no,
his son
I'm right
being
there
there,
with you.
you know, that might add into it. I still think Cerrone's going to get it, though.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. I as a fan, everything else, fucking common sense out the goddamn window. Just as a fan, I want Cowboy to go in there and fucking one punch, 9-second fucking KO flatline Joe Lozon and fucking stand in the center of the ring with his fucking arm up and call for his fucking kid like he does every time, and then lay his gloves down and walk out like a fucking hero. But there's a practical side of me, and that practical side of me is an asshole because he's a realist. And he understands that Cowboy freezes up 99.9% of the time when the spotlight is on him. And he even made a point to say that himself this week before the second time that he cried talking about his son being cage side for the first time. And as much of a fan I am of both of them and realize that regardless of how this fight turns out, both of these dudes, in my opinion, will be in the Hall of Fame at some point. But this, with the potential to be Cowboy's last hurrah, literally, I can't help but think that this pressure is going to fuck him just like it did in the Conor fight, because the nice guy buildup, just like we've got going on here, there's no fucking animosity. There's no pressure. There's no fuel to get him angry about it. He's coming in his own fucking head too much. And the pressure gets to him when he walks out and he fucking crumbles. And I have a feeling that's what we're going to see this weekend, unfortunately.
You know, to be honest, I was kind of debating on this about this fight because of the level of both of these guys, as far as their fight IQs, how long they've been in the game. This is a way far shot in the dark here, but I wanted to say, as far as this whole card is concerned, this is a super possibility of a dark horse fight of the night.
Yeah.
Just based on these two guys' resume and everything that's happened. I'm not saying it's going to happen that way. I mean, that's a real fucking stretch for it to happen. I would say if the prelims don't get it, if one of the crazy shits that we talked about a minute ago, the prelims or early prelims don't nail it down, I'm there with you. I think that has damn good potential to be the holy shit fucking fight of the night. I mean, so it's a stretch.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, I will say, in my opinion, at least, the weakest link in the main card is this next fight. And I'm not saying this lightly, and I'm not saying it to be a smartass, because realistically speaking, Mauricio Shogun Hua is one of the fucking faces that could be on the Mount Rushmore of MMA, in my opinion. No joke whatsoever. He has done from Shooter Box to fucking Pride to the fucking UFC in 2+ decades of professional fucking fighting, what most guys could never hope to do in a lifetime plus their children's lifetime. So I don't say this to be a fucking smartass or to be mean, but realistically speaking here, Shogun is the light heavyweight version of Andrei Arlovsky at this point. His name carries a ton of fucking value. But if you look at the actual results, especially with recency bias like MMA has, what have you done for me lately? There's not a lot to make you fucking smile about Shogun these days. And it's not like OSP across the octagon has got a fucking gleaming resume of his own. I'm not trying to say that either. But they're talking about this as well. Could be the last time we see Shogun, because this is the last fight on his UFC contract. And we know Dana's not very inclined to sign aging fighters with high paychecks and mediocre to fucking midland returns. Not that he can't win the fight, but man, do we really need this as the fucking potential last Shogun match and on a fucking pay-per-view at that?
Yeah, that's what was a killer the other week with Clay Guida. Like, that was the last fight on his contract. Then he gets taken out with that knee bar. I haven't heard any news about it. I doubt the UFC is going to re-sign him. Even though
I don't think there's going to be good news. Yeah.
And it killed me. I actually shed a tear about that one, man, watching him ever since I was a little kid. That sucked. Like that, I was hyped about that fight. I thought it was going to be a good fight, and then just boom. You know, that kid is great.
I was going to say, and that's the bitch part of it, is that Claudio Puelles literally Babe Ruth that fucking fight. He said, I've knee barred 3 dudes in a fucking row with this move, and I'm going to get Guido with it too. And Clay laughed. And then, sure to fuck enough, he did exactly what he fucking said he was going to, man. So it's like, shit.
So yeah, it's the same with this week. Like I'm excited to see. Like whenever I first saw it, that Shogun was going to be on the card, I'm like, oh shit! It was like Nick Diaz last year. I'm like, yes, like another one of those legends. I just love it, like because for me, I'm only 26, so a lot of these guys that I see when they show back up, it's like this is the dudes I was watching when I was a kid, like Forrest Griffin and Rua and shit, and like. Cain Velasquez, all these dudes. So when you see them come back on, it's like, hell yeah. And Elvin St. Preux, he hasn't been on a really good run as of late. Like, he hasn't even, I don't think, had a great UFC career overall. I remember he had a couple good fights when I was a teenager, like when he was first coming on, but then he fell off real quick. What did he get that championship shot? I can't remember. Because I was back when I was a teenager. I think he was getting a bunch of illnesses in the talks.
Some illnesses and some injuries that kept him out for a bit, and then he just dropped the fucking ball several fucking times. But he's been.
I know it was at a point for him. It was kind of like the Hamzat shit. He had a hype train building around him when I was a teenager.
Absolutely,
stunk. So I'm like, in my mind, that fan thought, I'm like, come on, this is it. This is the way to go out for Rua, right? If he can just, even if it goes the 15 minutes, you get a win off a decision.
Yeah, make it
just
solid.
Proves that I got better, right? Because the dude knocked you out earlier on. It just gives you that good feeling to go out on for his career, I feel. And so as a fan, I'm hoping for that. I don't care about St. Preux, whether he wins or loses. I mean, if he beats Rua, what's gonna happen with him? He's gonna get another mediocre fight. He'll probably still be in the UFC. Then Rua's career's over. It just puts a shadow on it. So you hope it's a good fight, like any fight. But I do agree with you. Like, this is the one fight on the card. It's kind of the sleeper. You hope it's good, but
we like to call it the intermission fight. If you get your popcorn or you need to refill your drink or you got to take a piss or you just need to crank one out real quick, this is the point where you can go do that and not worry about missing much.
Yeah, see, the one thing I'll say about this fight is if you're going to go get your popcorn, crank one out real quick, wait until at least the first round's over. Both of these guys' chins are very fucking suspect at this time. So somebody is probably getting knocked out in the first 5 minutes. Yeah, if it lasts more than 5 minutes, fuck off. It's not worth watching at that point.
Because good call. That's true.
Look, Hua's fucking chin is obviously suspect. St. Prue's been knocked out his last 2 fights out. As much as I hate to see a fucking legend and somebody who will probably eventually make it into the UFC Hall of Fame, like on his second or third try, type ballot type situation. Oh, his
the chokes alone will get him in. Yeah,
the Von Flue chokes alone will get
the Von Flue chokes that he landed. He'll get him in eventually. Yeah, but it's not going to be for fucking emphasis on every performance or any fucking
you've got a guaranteed first ballot in fucking Mauricio Shogun. I'm just saying. But this is literally a case of rock'em sock'em robots in the first 5 minutes. Whose head's going to pop up first and lose? That's all there is to it. And if it lasts more than 5 minutes, I'm probably going to go fucking grab a snack or fucking do a shot of whiskey or something like that. Because,
this will be the fight I let my dogs out during.
Go have a quickie with the missus, those types of things.
Right. But luckily, the good thing is that when that shit show's over, we get back to entertaining fights to finish this fucking card out. Now, to be fair, I would have been immeasurably more excited about this fight had it happened, a year and a half ago, when it really fucking should have. But because of the way that they offered it at that point, I understand why it didn't. That being said, we are now going to thankfully get Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson for the People's Co-Main Event Saturday evening. And I think there is some crazy fucking potential here. I'm not sure what gives me less fucking certainty about this fight. Tony's refusal to actually talk about the fight or Chandler's insistence about talking about the fight like it already happened. How do you guys think this one shakes loose?
this one's a shit show, to be quite honest. This is one of the fights that I would normally say I would gladly miss. But because of the way each of them has been handling media, like you said, Tony refuses to talk about this, except for this is Dana White privilege that Michael Chandler has.
Blades and shades. I'm taking his Dana White privilege.
Yeah, fucking. I'm gonna dude, move along. Then you got Chandler on the other side. He's obviously looking past Tony because, to be quite honest, I'll give Chandler this. Tony has been inactive, and every time he shows up, he looks like shit. So I kind of understand, because at least when Chandler shows up, you know he's coming for fucking blood because you can see it. He might not win, but god damn it, he puts on a hell of a show every time he comes in. I mean, he damn near knocked out Oliveira. He fucking had a hell of a war with Gaethje. I'm just saying, the proof is in the pudding. As much as I am not a huge fan of Chandler, I have to give credit where credit is due. The dude, he goes in there to win or go out on his shield. There is no happy medium with him. And that's something you love to see. Ferguson used to be that guy, and I say used to. But he seems to have gotten lost in his own sauce. And to be honest, I think he may have been hanging out with the nightmare Diego Sanchez a little too much, because he seems to be about
the Fabia to him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he seems about 25 cards short of a deck.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Like, I love Tony, but I honestly at this point wouldn't be surprised if next week we got a video of him hanging upside down and somebody punching him in the fucking face from training camp.
Well, yeah, I mean, the dude's talking about, well, I want to go play professional baseball and these other things, but Dana White won't let us fucking do it. Dude, if you wanted to do that, you've had plenty of opportunities to get out of this.
Yep.
Just saying. And at this point in your life, I hate to tell you, your fucking age is not going to help you get into any pro fucking sports. You're almost 40 years old.
I was going to say, there's not many 40-year-old MLB walk-ons these days.
No, and don't get me wrong. He is a good athlete in his own right for what it is. There's a reason why he's made it this far. There's a reason why he was such a great fucking wrestler. And he's got a great wrestler across the fucking octagon from him this week. So I don't think we're going to see much wrestling out of the two of these fuckers. I think we're going to see it hands. But then again, I've noticed watching Michael Chandler come from Bellator, even when he was in Bellator, he started to make that transition from wrestler to I just want to fucking bang with people. And I'm okay with that because that makes for exciting fights. But if Ferguson's going to try to wrestle him, he's going to have to work really fucking hard because Chandler is a fucking great wrestler in his own right. So, and it's kind of I can't say it's toss up. I'm pretty sure fucking Michael Chandler walks away with this one unless Ferguson catches him, because that was the only way that's going to happen. And I don't think Ferguson's got the power left anymore to fucking knock him out. He'll probably try a bunch of Imanari rules and fucking weird shit because, you know, that's
no, and like the kid likes to say all the time, Chandler is a fucking ice cream cone shaped wrestler. He's straight fucking V'd out. And if he wants to plant his fucking base and tell you you're not taking him down, good fucking luck. Tony's a tall, skinny fuck. He ain't got the leverage for it, man.
Yeah. It'll be fun one way or another.
I agree.
Yeah, for me, I felt like this was going to be the most exciting fight on the card until we got towards the media day and the press conference today here. Because Tony, he seems like he's not in the right mindset to get off of the losing streak or even have a good fight. Like, he put on a decent fight and have the war that we want to see that we thought it was going to be. He seemed like him bringing up Khabib and stuff. It's just the mindset that he's in compared to the guy at the end, Justin Gaethje, right? The mindset that Gaethje seems that he's in this week, focused. Like he seems like he's a beast. Like he wants to kill the dude. He's focused on one thing. And he's not even the title. He just wants to fuck him up. He wants to get in the fight. You know, Ferguson, he kind of seems like he wants to get in a fight, right? He's been all angry this week, like bitching about the UFC and bitching about Dana, but his focus isn't on. I watched an interview Daniel Cormier did with him.
That was the one.
He kept getting on to DC. He's like, oh, let's talk about Michael Chandler. But you're the motherfucker that keeps bringing up Khabib and then bringing up this and that. He's like, dude,
everything
where's your
else, yeah.
You're sitting here talking to your buddy and you're giving him shit when you're the motherfucker bringing this up. It's like, dude, just get your mind right. You are a legend in the sport. Like, there's no reason in hell you can't still compete against all these guys. I'm not saying he's going to win. I think Chandler will win, whether it goes to the wrestling or, this is stand-up strike. I think Chandler's won me over as a fan. I didn't really care about him when he moved from Bellator to UFC until the last fight, like that Gaethje fight. Just seeing how much of a zombie he was. Like, he kept taking all those shots Gaethje was throwing, and he kept coming, right? So he showed the heart. It was like, okay, I got some respect for this fucking guy. I want to see him in another fight. So once I hear Ferguson, I'm like, oh, this fight's going to be great. And now I feel like Chandler's focused. He's in a good state of mind, but Ferguson, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, what's going on? I hope it's a great fight, but it just where he's been at this week wants to get to the media shit. It's worried me a bit. It's like, man, is this going to be a letdown now? You're just going to see Tony go in there and shit the bed again like he has in the past couple fights, like he did against Beneil. And you don't want to see that. You want to see, like, every fight, like we've been talking about tonight. You want to see a fucking war. You want to see both dudes go after it. I don't know if Tony's got it, whether it goes wrestling or he damn sure doesn't have to stand up. Like your buddy here was saying, I don't feel like he's got the power to knock anybody out, especially Chandler. I mean, fucking Gaethje couldn't knock him out. Tony Ferguson's not knocking him out.
Right.
So hopefully he really has taken the time through his training camp to work on the wrestling, because that's the only damn way you're going to get. You got to get some takedowns. You're probably going to have to win by points. I don't know if he could get a submission on Chandler either. It's just.
Yeah. No,
I'm just less excited today than I was, let's say, fucking Monday about the fight. But I'm still hoping it's a banger of a fight.
Yeah. No, I've been a Tony fan for a long fucking time, even after he blocked me because he thought I was talking shit on him on Instagram. I don't know shit. I've been blocked by more than enough UFC fighters. That one didn't break my heart. But I have openly never been a Chandler fan because I followed his career, because he started in Missouri and I've literally been watching him for years be a fucking obnoxious asshat. And then he managed to put that obnoxious asshat routine through Bellator. And despite getting his ass handed to him, still somehow turned that into a UFC prospect and undeservedly jumped all the way into the title fight where he fell flat on his dick and I laughed till I cried. But I will say, like we try and make a point of doing on this show, we give credit where credit is due, regardless of how you feel about the person. And despite Michael Chandler being possibly one of the largest dick with ears I've seen walk through fucking UFC doorways, he is a tough son of a bitch. And despite having been actually knocked out by Oliveira, the fucking punishment he took from Gaethje in that last fight and did not stop is, I won't say enough, but it's almost enough to give me assurance that no matter how much blades and shades, I say with air quotes for those listening, Tony Ferguson actually brings, and he is legitimately capable of bringing some of the deadliest elbows around, but I don't think he's got enough left in what used to be El Cucuy to put those blades on Chandler with enough impact to finish him, especially considering the fucking shots Gaethje gave him and didn't finish him coming off of an Oliveira knockout. That's commendable. I don't like the fucking guy by any stretch of the imagination, but that is commendable. So I have to give him the benefit of the doubt here. I want to see Tony knock him the fuck out, just elbow him right out of the fucking gate, Dirty Bird style, and walk around the fucking ring putting his sunglasses on. But that realist asshole half of me is like, nah, dude, Chandler's fucking.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same. I want to see Tony knock him the fuck out too, because then knocks Chandler out of the title talks.
Yep.
He might get a Connor, if Connor really wants a tune-up fight. Right. So he'll get a big ass payday and another big name main event fight if that happens. But he won't be in the title because if he actually fights Connor, I think that'd be the bounce back for Connor. Connor would beat his ass. And I think if Ferguson beats Chandler here, there's no hope for him against McGregor. He's been getting fucking jacked. Yeah, so I hope Chandler loses too. I just don't see, like we've said, I don't see the striking ability, especially after what happened with Chandler and Gaethje. I mean, that was fight of the year last year and everything.
Yeah.
Hope this one could be a fight of the year potential this year, but you just hope. But it hasn't seemed like he's in the right mind. That's where I'm big time. I've just been getting worried as we're getting close to the weekend. Where's your fucking mind at, man? He looks good, like physically. Like during the
fucking
day, he looks fucking jacked.
For damn sure. So, that being said, we're halfway there. That brings us to the potatoes of the meat and potatoes in this meat and potatoes segment of the main event of 274. The first of 2 title fights for Mother's Day weekend. The ladies bringing the gold out for moms. Thug Rose Namajunas versus Carla Cookie Monster Esparza. For one of the legitimate, most iconic ladies strawweight fights in UFC history, a literal rematch of the inaugural strawweight fight in reverse. Carla Esparza beat Rose Namajunas for the first ever strawweight belt victory, and now here we are all these years later, and Carla Esparza has worked her way back up to challenge Rose Namajunas, the first woman in history of UFC to lose a belt and then win that motherfucker back, and is now on her second title defense, in my opinion, taking on Carla, coming back to try and rewrite history. I'm so fucking excited about this fight. This is probably the single most exciting ladies fight for me of the fucking year. So, how do you folks think this one plays out?
No, I totally agree. I mean, with what you said, I think this is going to be the most exciting one of the year. They're setting up Pena and Nunez for the summer. I don't think that's going to be that great. I think it's next month. They got Shevchenko and I don't even Santos. Is that
Tyler Santos versus Shevchenko in Singapore? Yep.
So, I mean, obviously Shevchenko's going to dominate again. I don't care about that fight at all, other than I love seeing Valentina. So that'll be great. I feel like Amanda's going to get back on track and she's going to whoop Juliana's ass. The one exciting fight I've heard about is Zhang Weili and Joanna. Seeing Joanna come back, that could potentially be it. But I mean, we've seen it before. So like we have seen Carla and Rose fight before, but yeah, like 8 years ago, like you said, that's what started the whole division. There's so much more weight to it than Zhang Weili and Joanna fighting for the second time, for Joanna to try to get back in a title contention, which is just really because of her name, right? It's like a Connor thing. You haven't fought in like 2 years, and now you have one big fight. If she wins, boom, she's going to be the next one to fight Rose, right? Like after this fight here, maybe at the end of the year, you're going to get Joanna and Rose fighting for the title. So maybe if they do that at the end of the year, that could then be the most exciting fight. Like, right, Rose and Joanna. Right. If Rose just dominates Carla here, but I think Carla's got a chance. That's what I feel like is the biggest, like, most exciting thing. As much as Rose has been dominating, and I think she will dominate this weekend, I feel like Carla's got a chance. It's going to be an exciting fight because Rose, even in the last fight against Zhang, her wrestling seemed a little weak still. Like, she did win the fight, but it was closer than I felt like it should have been, right? Like, for you to, I know it was just, it could be a fluke, right? You know, that puncher's chance, the first fight, you get the kick, it's just a knockout. But to just have it go from such a dominating performance the first fight, and you go second fight, you go a whole 5-round battle, and it was close. I don't know if anybody would say Zhang won the fight, but she won a couple rounds.
Yeah, she
won a couple rounds, and I feel like if Rose has that kind of performance again against Carla, because Carla's wrestling is better than Zhang's, right? Zhang got better at wrestling training with Cejudo. So I feel like Carla will beat her. If she hasn't like tried to improve that one specific point, or if she can't, at least have the takedown defense to keep it standing, it's going to be tough for her. If Carla can get it to the ground consistently, she's going to have a good chance to win. So I feel like it's going to be exciting as hell. I'd like to see Carla just stand and trade with her too, though. That'd be even more exciting.
For sure.
If this is going to be, to be honest, this has my other fight of the night potential, and I say potential loosely, because I don't think it's going to end up as fight of the night. However, there's some major implications on this one, not because of the belt, but because of where it started. I think both of these girls were very green around the ears, wet still behind the ears when this all fucking started the strawweight division. It was literally a, here, let's see if this division works out type situation. And yeah, Carla got the best of Rose the first time around. The reason why she was the first champ in the strawweight division. So my thought here is that's still got to eat a little piece of Rose in the back of her mind. Similar to when she got dropped on her fucking head by Andrade. So that's going to play. There's always that mental bug there. It's, can she get over it like she did in the second Andrade fight? Now, I'm not questioning her fucking mental toughness at all.
Fuck no.
Because obviously it didn't mean a goddamn thing when she came in there and ran through Andrade the second time, and then comes and KOs Wiley, and then fucking goes and beats her again. Look, I'm not questioning that at all, but Carla obviously had her number before and had her figured out. Don't get me wrong, both of these girls have exponentially grown since the inception of the strawweight division. Now, here's where I say there's a kicker in this. Rose has definitely made a huge change, not just from I had long hair when this started to now I'm fucking shaving my head. Her game has gotten so much better, and you could see her transformation over time. To be quite honest, I kind of feel like she's at her peak right now. Like, I don't know that she gets much better than this. Carla has been a fucking grinder, a epitome of a grinder. She grinds and grinds and grinds, and that's what's winning her fights. Rose hasn't had to grind like that. Why? Because she's been fucking just progressively getting better, and the people that she's fighting, she is outclassing most of the time. And I say most of the time because she's had some fucking tough fights in there, but most of the time she's outclassing them. She hasn't really gone against a heavy grinder like fucking Esparza is. Since, well, Esparza. Yeah. Depending on how Carla wrestles, could determine a lot in this fight. Because, to be honest, we haven't seen a whole lot of Rose on her back or fucking dealing with ground game too much. And when it has happened, it does stifle her a little bit. Granted, she's been all right being able to get up, but outside of the few times we've seen her there, she hasn't looked all that fucking great there. And as good as a fucking wrestler as we see in Carla Esparza and the way she grinds it, that's a tough fucking push for Rose. So don't get me wrong, everything starts on the feet, but if it gets down to the ground and it stays there, I think it's Esparza's fight to fucking lose if that happens. Now, I did not pick that fight. If you go over to our Tapology page and sign up for our fucking group, you'll see that. I picked Rose to win this fight. But giving credit where credit is due, Esparza, in the way that her wrestling has progressed over the last couple of years, she's turned into a great fucking grinder and knows how to decision out a fucking win. And as much as I hate to say it, she's a decision fighter. She's a point-based fighter, largely based on wrestling. And I'm not mad at that. Don't get me wrong. She does have the fluke knockout on her last win, which, credit where credit's due. Congrats. You knocked somebody fucking out. I'm proud of you. But she's very heavily wrestling based. So, I mean, we'll see how it ends up playing out. If Rose can keep it on the feet and manage her takedown defense, she'll be in good fucking form to just beat fucking Carla left, right, center, up, down, fucking wherever she wants in the cage. And she's gonna have to really fucking try hard to keep it off the ground when she goes there. But yeah, still calling Roseford and still on this one.
So I gotta say, I agree with half of what you said there. I absolutely agree that Rose has grown leaps and bounds since the two of them fought. What I disagree with is that Carla has grown a fucking millimeter. If you go back and the last fight, fluke agreement aside, strike that fucking fight from the record. Prior to that fucking fluke bullshit, look at her last 7 fights in a row just for a random fucking number. Tell me one of those fights that she didn't go in, attempt an aggressive takedown off of a horribly thrown left jab that you can read like a children's book and then hold that motherfucker to the ground without actually putting too much ground and pound or real submission threats in. I'll wait.
Hey, guess what? It fucking worked in all of those fights, didn't it?
I'm not saying it didn't.
Exactly.
I'm not saying it didn't.
And you know what?
What I'm saying
that
is
says growth.
That's not evolution.
You know why that says growth? Because if you can get away with that bullshit, there's a lot of growth, because that means you perfected that bullshit.
Or you're getting thrown a whole lot of cans who don't know how to fucking wrestle.
Well,
But if you look back at Rose, aside from Joanna getting knocked the fuck out and then getting handled, and then, oh wait, Wei Li got knocked the fuck out and then she got handled, and then there was the Andrade situation, but then came back and she got handled. So now here we are again in a situation where Rose is coming off of, albeit 8 years ago, a loss, coming back at her chance to go in that rematch, and I'm inclined to believe Carla's going to get handled. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be an easy fight by any stretch of the imagination. There's a reason I said that this is the most exciting ladies fight of the year for me. But, and I mean Sir Mix-a-Lot video size, but Carla has not evolved as much as people think she has. And if you watch the fights, it backs my point up. If you watch the way that Rose is winning, not just that she's winning, but the way that she's winning by intelligently throwing strikes, by intelligently avoiding trouble and getting in to put her pressure on, by staying consistently overbearing so they can't get an offensive wrestling put out against her. That to me shows more growth than being able to do the same 3 predictable button mashing maneuvers against 9 different soup cans in 8 years. Now, I've been wrong before. Ask Avocado. I'm sure he'll remind you that I was wrong last week, but I think we see, and still, I think Rose has what it takes to get it done.
that's it. I didn't pick Carla Esparza on this one. Not saying she's going to win, but I will say her wrestling has gotten a fuck ton better, which is where I see the exponential growth at. There's a reason why she's been able to hold people down for so goddamn long. It's gotten better, a lot better.
For those of you watching, I forgot until just now, I did pop up our Tapologies for Gaethje and I here on the screen. There's a reason, if you look at these 2 cards, they're pretty fucking similar. Gaethje and I have been doing this for quite a while now. We've been doing this show for 4 fucking years, but both of us been watching these combat punchy kicky shits for a long motherfucking time. And we're both at a point where even Avocado has to admit that when you look at our cards overall, general consensus, we're pretty much right down the money. The very few differentiations you see is where we come across a situation like one of us thinking that Carla Esparza has evolved.
Hey, you can see that on my fucking card. There. Knock your nonsense off, goddammit.
I will give him credit. If you look at the card here, we both have Rose here. We both have Rose winning this one.
I'm just saying, just because you can't.
Yeah, we both have Rose too, and most of the time we'll agree on it, but we'll disagree on picks mainly because I like to go for underdogs. You know, like the last couple Volkanovski fights, I went against him not because like discrediting Volk. I just, you know, I loved Brian Ortega, and then I loved Korean Zombie. So you just that's the thing. I like rooting for the guys I've seen before, and I like the underdogs. And what for me, that, like, if you bet, right? What else is the point? At least, you know.
Right.
gamble a little bit, take the chance, go for the underdog. That's where you'll make the real money. Pop.
Don't get me wrong, I'm all about betting on underdogs, but it's gonna be fucking smart bets though. That's the key.
Yeah, that's why I don't actually bet a ton. But when I feel like it's a smart underdog, I'll put some money on it. But that's where we both will differentiate most of the time. I like going for the underdogs most, even though Vince is more of a casual than I am. He's smart enough to be like, oh, I'm gonna go for the dude that I've seen win before.
Right.
I'm not gonna go for the dude that they're saying is got no chance.
The good ones,
Look, and this will prove my point about doing the underdog thing when we talk about this next fight, because there's some good solid money to be made there.
I was just about to say, speaking of underdogs, as if you needed more of a fucking reason to tune in, the name on the marquee, the literal reason for the season, the meat of the meat and potatoes in this meat and potatoes segment of the goddamn show, the men we are here to talk about first and fucking foremost, Charles Dubronx Oliveira, Justin the Highlight Gaethje going at it for the men's 155-pound world championship in Arizona Saturday evening. Maybe one of the biggest lightweight fights in recent memory, and ironically both of them have been involved in almost every one of the fights we have seen for that fucking title for the last couple of years now, one way or the other. But now we finally have the two of them matched head to head for the strap. Two men enter, one man leaves, Thunderdome style. Who walks out with the belt Saturday night, gentlemen?
Dude, that's gonna be a wild fucking fight. That's all I can say. Look, if you're going by fucking odds, Charles Oliveira wins the fight, but that's purely on the mega side. Now, this is, and they have Gaethje listed as an underdog. I get it. Charles Oliveira is probably right now, of what we have currently in the lightweight division, probably the most well-rounded mixed martial artist in the fucking lightweight category. From top to fucking bottom, he's probably the best well-rounded fighter. Cross, though, you have Justin Gaethje, who is, without a shadow of a doubt, the hardest hitting fucking lightweight that there is in the division right now.
Yeah.
And I'll even add with Connor in there. I don't think Connor hits as hard as fucking Gaethje does. Namely, because Connor, he hit hard at a lower weight class. At lightweight, his power is not the same. It's not the same exponential that Gaethje has here. Right. Not to mention, was it Joe Lozon who put it this way? Gaethje is a guy who will set himself on fire just so he can burn you a little bit.
Yes. It's such a great fucking quote.
That was the epitome of the greatest fucking quote I've ever seen about Gaethje ever. And it is to a fucking T. He will walk through 4 punches just so he can hit you fucking once.
Yep. And stare at you while you're hitting him. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a fucking reason why they call him the highlight. The dude's going to be a highlight one way or another. Either he's going to give you a highlight or he's going to be on the receiving end of that highlight. Look, if I'm betting money, I'm betting money on fucking Gaethje. I know fucking there's been that, well, Charles Oliveira knocked out fucking Chandler and you didn't knock Chandler out. Yeah, everybody has a button, and if you hit it just right, you don't have to hit it hard. It's just hitting the button just right. The amount of damage that was dealt to Chandler far exceeds that of what Oliveira knocked him out with by catching the button.
Absolutely.
So what that tells me is Charles Oliveira got a lucky punch, because he does not hit as hard. There's no fucking earthly place in this universe where Oliveira hits as hard as fucking Gaethje does. Now, he's way more fucking dangerous on the ground, though. Don't get me wrong. Gaethje is a known wrestler. But obviously, wrestlers don't mean shit to Oliveira because he's been subbing the shit out of wrestlers lately. if it stays standing, where every fight fucking starts, this is Gaethje's fight to lose. If it ends up on the fucking ground, without a shadow of a doubt, fucking Oliveira wins the fight. Unless it ends up on the ground because fucking Gaethje knocked him out. But other than that, that's the only exception to that fucking rule. But if I'm a betting man, I'm betting on Gaethje. Do I think it's going to happen that way? Not necessarily. I think Oliveira's got a better chance of winning this fight as he's a more well-rounded fighter. His fight IQ, in my opinion, is better than Gaethje's. But that's because Gaethje is literally a fucking just, I'm going to go in there and fucking eat him just so I can throw you one or two. And because he hits hard enough, that one or two is enough to do the fucking job. But as if we're gonna pick smartly, I'm picking on Oliveira to win. But if I'm a betting man, I'm going fucking Gaethje all goddamn day with a knockout no later than the third round.
Yeah, that's my pick. I'm going with Gaethje. Vinny, he's picking Oliveira. He's going with the smart pick. I'm not even betting on it this week. If I was gonna bet, I'd go Gaethje. For me, I'm taking Gaethje, even in the set, like either way, because I want, like I said earlier, I like the underdog, but I feel like that's all he really has to worry about is not getting on the ground. If Gaethje can keep it standing, he'll at least do enough damage to get himself in the right situations, right? He's been saying it all week this week. I feel like he's in the right mentality. He just seems like a dog. He just wants to get in there. He wants to have a war, just like your buddy mentioned. Yeah, he's like got that mentality. He wants to take 5 fucking shots before he even throws one. You know, I heard on the Anik and Florian podcast, Kenny Florian mentioned that he's just got to focus, like he's got to act like he's a kid, right? Playing a little game, like the floor's lava. Don't go to the ground. Don't go to the ground. If he can keep that mentality, keep it up, he's got the chance. So just because of that, his mentality that he's shown through all of his fights, and being a dog, like I know Oliveira, don't discredit anything. He's fucking fantastic. He's 32-8. His record's fantastic. He's got like the most submissions in UFC history, but I don't see him like it was a couple years ago when Gaethje fought Khabib. I don't feel like Oliveira has proven that same dominance. And I might fucking be eating my own words, like any of us this weekend, like with the Volkanovski shit, because that's how I felt with Volkanovski's past couple fights. Like, oh, he's not gonna dominate this dude, and then he goes out and fucking dominates the dude.
Does it, yeah.
And, so I know Oliveira could easily, we could see it. You could get it to the ground, submit him, whatever. You could dominate. I don't think he's gonna knock Gaethje out though. Like your buddy said, definitely when he fought Chandler, I think that was that. The puncher's chance. He got that lucky punch, and
even if he keeps it standing, he could still choke him out, though. He did it to Dustin Poirier.
That is true. I mean, you did make a good point. That's where, like, you got to give, I don't.
Chance too.
I can't talk shit to you, Vinny, for making that, or anybody that picks Oliveira, but I'm going Gaethje just because I don't feel like he's gonna let Oliveira get anywhere near those situations. He ain't gonna let him near his fucking back. It's gonna stay face to face. If Oliveira tries to shoot, I feel like that's all he had to work on for his training camp, right? Like his takedown defense. Don't let this motherfucker get me down to the ground. Because Oliveira is probably not going to get that lucky shot like we were talking about with Chandler, to where he'll rock Gaethje to where he could get him down to the ground. So if Gaethje's got the good takedown defense, stays up, it's going to be a fantastic fucking fight. Because like your buddy as well said, Gaethje's going to eat. He's going to eat shots. So it'll be back and forth, just like it was with Chandler. It'll be exciting as hell for us. We got 5 rounds of it instead of 3. Yeah. I'm excited. I feel like it's going to be one of the fights of the year. I can't wait for it. But definitely I'm going for Gaethje, even Even if I got to eat my words at the end of the weekend, I like going for the underdog. But I feel like with this one, it's a smart underdog pick, you know.
No, I absolutely understand, and you know, I know it's broken record, but I don't give a fuck. I said it a million times, and I'll say it a million more. I try and give credit where credit is due, and there is no denying that Justin Gaethje, even if you watch Embedded, has literally gone back to his old college wrestling coach. He has gone back to his literal Arizona wrestling roots and gone back to make sure that his wrestling is on point. And he is 100% singularly focused, not on getting the belt, but on beating Charles Oliveira. That cannot be taken away. The thing that gives me pause to question and agree with Vinny on this one here is that, yes, if this fight goes to the ground and Oliveira gets your back, you're fucked. We all know that. Justin knows that. I guarantee you. But like Vinny mentioned, Charles doesn't have to go to the ground to put you out, and he doesn't have to get your back to put you out. We just saw last weekend Jessica Andrade got the first ever UFC standing arm in triangle. So we know Oliveira is a black belt of literal world-class proportions. And yeah, he's a fucking submission master, but he doesn't have to wrestle to get that submission. And if he's
with him making that point, that's the one thing you can guarantee. It's going to be an exciting ass fight one way.
That's what I'm saying though. If Oliveira is a tenth as smart as I am, and I hope for his fucking sake he is, someone in his fucking circle has been watching Embedded, has been watching Justin's fucking Instagram, has been watching Justin's Facebook, and he's showing all the wrestling focus that he's putting in. And on one hand, that's great, and it's very fucking important, especially going against black belt. But on the other hand, that shows Charles that your mentality is that the submission comes from the position, that you have to wrestle to get submitted. Aside from Khabib, Gaethje has been put unconscious times before, and they haven't always been from the back, from the ground. Charles is the submission leader in the UFC as a whole for very good reason. And I cannot help but think that that's coming into play this weekend. And in my opinion, the level of submission that Oliveira presents is higher than the level of wrestling defense Gaethje will put to try and stop it. That being said, as everybody has already made clear, this is going to be a fucking spectacular fight no matter how it shakes out. And if I'm completely fucking wrong, I'll eat fucking crow next week and have no fucking bones about it. That being said, if you are looking for anything this weekend to get your attention, to get your blood flowing, to make sure you're alive, UFC 274 Saturday Night Live with a pair of title fights for Mother's Day is absolutely going to be the 100% certain guarantee to make sure the blood is flowing. That being said, that is all we are going to call for this particular episode here. I would like to make a special thank you to our very special guests here, even our casual who popped in to give his shit talking in earlier. We will see you on Tapology, motherfucker. But extra thanks to Chris and Vinny for popping in. I will make sure that all their links to their podcast and their socials are down in the description for everybody. Thank you, gentlemen. Do you have anything you guys need to plug?
Check out our podcast if anybody's watching tomorrow morning. We got another episode. We'll be doing it every Friday. You can check it out on any of the podcast platforms, Spotify, iHeartRadio and all that. So hopefully get a video podcast up soon. Be able to get on YouTube. Might even just start doing lives. No different than what you do. Try to get on YouTube as well. We'll spread it out. But yeah. I mean, that's really it. We've got our Instagram. If anybody ever wants to fucking, watch our smoking shit, DM us, things like that. It's a more personable aspect, but excited to be starting our own podcast,
Hell yeah, glad to see it. And like I said, I'll make sure the links to their podcast and their socials and everything are down in the description. As far as things around here go, every Thursday night that there is something to talk about, 9:30 p.m.-ish Central Time, because shit happens, over on youtube.com/ImNoJoe. Or if this is an issue for you, which I understand, I own mirrors, fret not. The week after we go live over on anchor.fm/ImNoJoe, the all audio format version of this show comes out visual free for your enjoyment. You can pick it up on any podcast consumption platform that you so desire to use. If you want to support what we do around here, the best way to do so, patreon.com/ImNoJoe, literally gives you access to behind the scenes, unaired, and no joke, unairable YouTube bannable footage that only the patrons get to see. Helps us do what we do, and it gets your name at the end of the video as a nice little thank you, chef's kiss, to help do all things off. That being said, if you enjoy what we do, make sure you got the thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed and your little notification is turned on whatever platform you are consuming this on. On the other side of that, if you don't enjoy what we do around here, first off, why the fuck are you this deep into a podcast you didn't like? Give us a thumbs down and fuck off. We won't even dispute it. That said, that's all we've got for this particular episode. So remember, folks, until next time, don't let ignorance stop you. You can root for anything, unless it's Amber Heard. Fuck that bitch.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good times.